My goodness. This is basic. Even you seated in this chair knows that if you look at the operations of a canton mine, corporate governance is very poor. Akonta. Corporate governance is very poor.
How?
Do you think that if their corporate governance was strong, it should have required Wontumi, who is an owner, to bypass the general manager and grant a so-called contractual lease to another third party to go and reclaim lands? You think that's how we work in our state in institutions? You know this.
It's purely internal management decision.
You see, again, the prosecution witnesses, the third parties. Bernard, don't do this to our training. Don't. You know that as part of...
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them, yopo.
To my brother today, about the claim that, he gave them permission to go and reclaim. And so if they were doing illegal mining, it had nothing to do with him.
He did not know.
No, please, let's be patient. I was patient. He did not know that they were doing illegal mining. Really? And you believe that story?
The court couldn't prove that.
Please. You see, that's the point. The court is not the responsibility of the court to prove allegations. It is the responsibility of the prosecution to prove allegations. The court only takes a decision based on evidence before it. And to the extent that the prosecution was able to demonstrate that indeed these people were engaged in illegal mining with the express authority of Chairman Wontumi, to the extent that his defense could not counter that, it's not anybody's fault. It's not the court's fault.
He raises the issue about their claim as against Chairman Wontumi's claim, and why the courts decided to take their claim as basis.
But when we appear before
drawing
courts,
the conclusion that he was involved.
When we appear before courts, Party A has his claims.
Yes.
Party B will also have his claims. It is the decision rests with the judge after listening to both sides. So he cannot sit in this chair and ask the question why, because he's not seized with that authority. He was not the judge in the matter. The judge listened to them. The fact that I have made claims in court does not mean that the judge will agree with me. Sometimes I'll make claims and back it with evidence, and the judge will be minded to listen to me. Okay. That's what happened. We all go to court with claims.
No problem. I'll allow you to continue. I need to get back. You've been talking for almost 30 minutes.
No, it's not true. It's not true.
I've not even spoken for 24 minutes?
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Am I going to get the same
You
time?
started at 8:30. Because he was being uncomfortable. You see how he was rolling in his chair when I was speaking. That's why he thinks that I've spoken for long.
I was going to address...
I don't always like this. When I'm flowing, then you come in with...
Let me address this very important issue.
No, let me finish. 8:45. No, we started at 8:30.
You know what I mean? Your submission.
So, no, mine was not 8:45. It was after 8:50. Trust me.
8:50.
Yeah, 8:55.
You know what? It's 9:29.
I started at 8:50.
No, it's been 26 minutes.
No, stop.
26 minutes.
No. But he spoke
and
more.
I never interrupted. You were asking me like...
asking me questions.
All right. So you land so that you land in 2 minutes so I can go. Because I need to take a break.
Yeah.
I can go for a break and then come back to you.
Don't do this.
Because I need to take a break. But you land in 2 minutes.
Moro, for me,
yes,
where I sit, I think that it will do Wontumi and his defense team a hell lot of good if the NPP decides to move away from the politics. Ordinarily, I had no plans of running commentary on this matter.
Right.
Because I don't want to see it as a political football. But to the extent that a statement was issued by the NPP, minority, and the NPP's office, we are duty-bound as communicators of the ruling NDC to also help explain the matters to the citizens of the Republic of Ghana, because we know the stock in trade of the NPP.
Right.
The judges may not be able to come out and explain why certain decisions are taken. Not every Ghanaian would have the benefit of reading the judgment.
Right.
But, you see, Bernard, you are a practitioner. When you rose on your feet, the judge did not say no to you, even though you were not part of the legal team of Chairman Wontumi. She listened to you as a friend of the court. In line with procedure, you mitigated.
Okay.
Even though my strategy for mitigation would have been different, listening to you and your interviews. Even though my strategy for mitigation would have been different, and I can assure you that with proper mitigation, Wontumi probably would have gotten the 15 years. But it was because even your mitigation was lax and porous. Because if you appear in court and you are telling the judge that because the man has so many companies, a man who is being accused.
Come on.
Oh, well,
public. Okay, you finish. I'll get my bites right.
If you appear in court and you are saying that because the man has so many companies and he's employed people, because of that, there's a need for the judge to mitigate. When he's used the same company or some of the companies for which reason he's before the court.
Okay.
And you are trying to tell the judge that because he has employed people, the judge should temper justice with mercy.
All right.
When there were many other avenues you could have reached out to.
All right.
For example, maybe, I don't know whether he's even a first-time offender or not.
All those things were adduced.
Yeah, first-time offender.
All those things were adduced.
You raised, you raised that. Okay.
In fact,
let's take a short commercial. We're here with Hamza Suhini. He's a lawyer and also a member of the NDC's communications team. Bernard Owiredu is also here. He's a lawyer. He's a member of the NPP's legal team as well. So, Bernard.
There's a few responses to
what Suhini
the
has said.
submissions made by my brother. First and foremost, the minority has every right to critique the judgment delivered yesterday by the High Court. And
nobody's questioning
the points the minority raised are very salient. You see, the bit about the constitutional interpretation was not just about the provisions in the Mining Act, but it was the 1992 Constitution, Section 19 as well. So, either way, there was some substance in the arguments which had been proffered that the matter should be stayed and sent to the Supreme Court. As to whether the judge ought to have stayed, it's a matter of, a lot of people have different opinions. It's a matter of opinion, so I'll leave that. The other issue is about the corporate, lifting of the corporate veil. The judge, I sat in court. The judge even referenced to the poor or lack of corporate governance in the structure of Akonta Mining in coming to the conclusion she came to. And for me, I thought that was pure conjecture. In as much as whatever happens in a company, it's purely internal management and has not come to your attention. You could not come to that conclusion that in your thinking and in your belief, there is poor corporate governance structure within Akonta Mining and come to conclusion on such terms. I think there's so much fault with it. Because that is pure conjecture. Because you are not a member of Akonta Mining, you've not had any evidence to that effect. So to conjecture and come to that conclusion, that I'm sure is problematic. And for me, it's a straight ground for something we should consider in our grounds of appeal. That is in response to him.
You don't think that based on the facts available to her?
Which facts? Relax. I sat in court.
Yes.
The facts available to one of them was the fact that
you appeared in court yesterday, just yesterday.
Hamza,
have you been part of the trial?
You see, Hamza, when you were speaking, I kept quiet.
No, but you see,
I am faulting the judge for raising corporate governance issues in a company with those sort of facts. Comes to the conclusion.
Are you aware of the evidence that was presented?
I am answering him. We are limiting our conversations to what the judgment said.
Right,
this is what. So please relax.
Allow him to
see, Hamza, when you're talking, I keep quiet too.
You didn't keep quiet.
Oh, so for me,
yes,
for you to raise corporate governance issue or lack of it in Akonta Mining to sort of firm up the conclusion you came to in piercing the corporate veil is problematic. And we shall deal with that probably when we sit to analyze.
Sorry, let me ask you this. Sorry, I beg you. And I need to ask this. Was there any documentation, because I was in the court and I've been reading the thing, I haven't seen any such thing. Was there any documentation, for instance, from Akonta Mining to the third parties to do this reclamation?
No, that is why we believe, in my firm belief, that the charge of assigning of mineral rights without approval is problematic.
There's a point I'm driving home.
Yes.
If what should have been the normal administrative processes that...
For assignment.
No, I'm not even talking about assignment. So let's assume that is it Inkum? What's the name? Is it Okum? What's the name? Okum. The third parties who were doing the reclamation. It's an agency.
Exactly.
Right. Was there any documentation that officially states that these persons have been asked or directed or have been commissioned?
I guess not that I know.
None that
I know of. So.
But do you find that as normal?
Oh, you see, that is why, in fact, it fits into why we believe that the offense of assignment of mineral rights had no legs to stand on. Because if offense...
You're not getting my point. You know, the matter in issue...
they make it clear.
No, sorry.
Because I'm not getting you.
The matter in issue which the two of you have been debating.
Yes.
Because you say the judge was of the view...
Yes.
Based on whatever she knows or whatever the facts available to her, that the company's corporate governance structure was bad.
Yes.
Okay. And I asked you a very simple question, that if you were in the position of this judge, and I'm not privy to whichever the other facts that she has before her.
All right, sure.
But if you were the person in the position of this judge, and you want a simple document, or you haven't seen a simple document that clearly states that I am recruiting or I'm commissioning this agency to undertake some reclamation exercise.
Yes.
Won't you have a cause to ask or to wonder if the corporate governance structure within the party or within
I get what you're saying, but that is not problematic. I get what you're saying, but that the point I mean, that is not enough to come to the conclusion.
I understand you. I'm saying that the absence of these very important documents can give somebody a cause to say, hey, are you sure you guys are running this company well?
Yes.
Because the absence of this document would then give the judge the reason to depend on the circumstantial evidence. And that is why this issue about
not at all. Not at all. And that's for contracts could be verbal, could be written.
Okay.
So if you don't have any evidence of the written instructions or contract between Mr. Akonta Mining and the third party to go into whatever they did, it is not consequential at all, because contracts could be verbal as well. So the fact that there is no written trail or documentation of the instructions given to the third parties to do what they did doesn't mean anything at all. And I'm saying that is why I am of the view that raising those issues and coming to the conclusion that the corporate governance structure of Akonta Mining was bad, and therefore using it as part of the reasons to lift the veil in itself is questionable.
Okay.
That is the point I'm trying to make. Having said that, well, there is this particular point that I think has even escaped you to ask questions.
Okay.
You think, in your fairest estimation, that those third parties who were used as prosecution witnesses, who were once agents of Akonta Mining Limited, do you think, in your fairest opinion, that they were not going to influence and affect the case just to exculpate them? I'm asking you this question.
We can't tell.
Okay. So let us explain to Ghanaians for them to understand.
Okay.
The very people who had gotten instructions or permission from Mr. Wontumi to go and do reclamation, who went beyond the instructions given to them to do mining and were arrested, were the same people who were relied upon to testify against Mr. Wontumi.
Brother,
do you think he was ever going to get a fair hearing from these people?
Right.
Let me just not end it there. Mr. Wontumi says that I gave permission, Akonta Mining, to these third parties for reclamation. You go get them doing
illegal
mining. How do you charge Mr. Wontumi for facilitating their mining activities? When he has said that, my express instruction for them, he even goes ahead to add that they should plant what? Coconuts. Is that not the case? That is his testimony before the court.
So you believe his testimony?
Why wouldn't I believe his testimony?
And you think the judge is not seized with the fact to also believe the counter testimony? You seated here without any training as a judge.
Okay, so
you believe
you see what Hamza does?
I'm just asking you some
I believe Mr. Wontumi says.
Before you go ahead, I beg, in order that it shapes your submission on this matter, you know, the show would end at 50, which is 9:50.
Good.
So now it is 9:37. So I'll beg you to end at 9:40 so that he takes
3 minutes back.
No, you've been talking for almost 5 minutes.
So but you were asking, you know, Moro, when I'm talking, you're asking me all the questions.
More than 5
minutes. When Hamza is talking, you are quiet. He flows for like 5 minutes without interruptions.
In fact, he was.
It's also a skill of presentation. You will leave so many gaps. The host definitely will ask you questions. You know that.
So
if you leave so many gaps,
who
will ask you questions?
The onus on me is not the same as the onus on him. The scale is not being balanced evenly here.
We can't solve the matter here. So I'm saying that I beg you. You use the next 3 minutes to make your case, and then I can give the 10 minutes to Hamza. So we'd have done 10 minutes each, and I can read some messages.
So the next 3 minutes,
I beg you,
will be an assurance given to our party faithfuls and the family of Mr. Wontumi that having read the judgment and having perused it, as a lawyer, first and foremost, I find that it is so much appealable. The legal team of Mr. Wontumi has also hinted that they will go and appeal this decision. I listened to one of them, and what he says is that it's not just about the sentencing alone, it's about the conviction of Mr. Wontumi himself, because the evidence as adduced really do not support it. And I'll reiterate the point that for me, this particular judgment falls short of the standard of proof when it comes to criminal prosecution. It is proof beyond reasonable doubt. And I am of the firm belief that the testimonies of these prosecution witnesses, as against the testimony of Mr. Wontumi and his witnesses, cannot give the comfort of the judge to come to the conclusion that indeed the prosecution has proved its case beyond reasonable doubt. So I'm of the firm belief that this is an appealable, and the legal team should sit to do it. Hamza also made the point that the mitigation put in and all that. You see, he was not there. So yes, he was not there. Yes. Counsel for Mr. Wontumi had done all that. But in mitigation, or even in law itself, there's something we call public interest and public policy consideration. Implicit in every law is public interest and public policy consideration. So for instance, if we say don't steal, it is just not because we want to criminalize stealing. It's because when you steal, you affect a third party. So we should consider the interest of the person as well. The submission was to the effect that in situations like this, when the person has already been convicted with a minimum of 15 years, look at his significance in society, which is public policy consideration. And we do this every time. So it is not as if it is only in respect of Mr. Wontumi. When you are making mitigations, you look at the circumstances of the individual and use that to appeal before the judge. And one of the circumstances with Mr. Wontumi is his significance in society. So yes, I'll pardon him for that, but let me make this final point.
Your time is up.
Oh, this final point.
Your time is up. Otherwise, you chop it.
First of all,
this final Hamza, just 1 minute of your time. 1 minute of your time.
Mr. I won't see that. I'm not willing to see that. I'm not willing to see that.
Our time is up.
Moro.
Hamza.
Thank you,
Moro. See, I will not belabor the point by trying to respond to his issue of mitigation. I'll leave that for our viewers to be the better judges in relation to that matter. But first of all, my brother made references to circumstantial evidence in relation to the judgment that was delivered by the judge yesterday. And I am troubled by the demeanor of Bernard seeking to undermine the relevance of circumstantial evidence, especially when it comes to our criminal jurisprudence. He knows that the position of the law, both in the Evidence Act and that of our cases, that emanated from the Supreme Court, it is quite clear that circumstantial evidence is good law and can actually lead to convictions.
Well, nobody has said so.
No, but you sought to
it should lead to an irresistible conclusion.
And you branded it as conjecture. Yes, I'll get it. So, but you should have known that. You think that the judge was boxed in, and so for that matter, the judge is not seized with the expertise to tell and link these experiences together to reach a conclusion. In any case in this country, the minister responsible for lands and natural resources, the Honorable John Samuel Abujinapo, under his own government, issued an official statement from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and indicated that Akontem Mining was engaged in illegal mining, paid their investigations and the investigations of the Minerals Commission. And you think that all these facts were not before the judge? And so if a state agency at the time even your president, your party was in power, came to this conclusion. And his defense is that he allowed people to go in there to reclaim. And all of a sudden, you have reduced a contractual relationship to agency and say we should deal with it according to agency law. Lawyers are watching. They are better judges when it comes to your attempt to reduce contractual relationships to agency relationship. You see, my brother, let us be fair to the law and the facts. The gentleman's explanations are funny, laughable, and problematic, and cannot stand any serious scrutiny. Because if you are in charge of a jurisdiction and allow people to come in and do reclamation, and you tell me that for all the time that the people were engaged in illegal mining, you folded your arms and you were watching them, you didn't want to do anything. You were not even interested in monitoring the kind of work that you had contracted them to do at a place that you had control. It is only because you were complicit. Indeed, they were doing it with your blessing. And even if you are the judge, tomorrow it will be difficult for you to reach any other conclusion. Now, my brother also made reference to the fact that, but the judge, how can you conclude that the corporate, the Akonto mining does not respect corporate, what's the name?
Governance.
Corporate governance structures. My goodness. This is basic. Even you seated in this chair knows that if you look at the operations of Akonto mine, corporate governance is very poor. Akonta. Corporate governance is very poor.
How?
Do you think that if their corporate governance was strong, it should have required Wuntumi, who is an owner, to bypass the general manager and grant a so-called contractual lease to another third party to go and reclaim lands? You think that's how we work in our state in institutions? You know this.
It's purely internal management decision.
You see, again, the prosecution witnesses, the third parties. Bernard, don't do this to our training. Don't. You know that as part of a prosecution strategy, the prosecution decides as a strategy who to engage, even if they are guilty of a crime, and decide to use those witnesses against each other. It is allowed. It is normal courtroom practice strategy for prosecution all over the world, not just in Ghana. And you know this as a matter of fact. So the fact that probably the people decided to cooperate with government and the Attorney General in exchange for some form of immunity because of the service that they would have provided to the state is within our law. And it is done, not just in the Wuntumi case. A litany of cases in our courts. It depends on the prosecution strategy and how you can easily get access to more damning evidence against an accused person. That is allowed. Moro, he also he said that. And there's one troubling matter. When I listen to the NPP, they go like, okay, tomorrow is pregnant. Tomorrow is pregnant. We will deal with you. Tomorrow is pregnant. Really? Since the birth of this fourth Republican democracy of ours, Moro, have you seen any NPP appointee thrown behind bars? After Jerry Rawlings in 2000, they threw not less than 3 of former appointees of Jerry Rawlings in jail. When the NDC came back in 2009, did we throw anyone behind jail bars?
Right.
Under Nanado, about 4 or 5 appointees were jailed. So what more can you do to an NDC government tomorrow in opposition that you think that we should be afraid? Even in between 92 to 96 and to 2000, that we didn't do anything to you. You persecuted our appointees, threw them behind bars. And you think that today, the NDC would be afraid if it goes to opposition? What worse can you do that you haven't done under Jerry John Kufuor, that you haven't done under Nanado to our former appointees? So we're from that baseless threat. And who the heck says that the NDC is afraid of accountability? And the NDC is not in the business of drawing a compromise between the NPP and us. No. For us, our focus is the reset agenda, and we'll do everything within our power to ensure that those who stole resources from this state, those who violate the laws of this country, would be made to face the full rigors of the law.
Okay.
And that is what we are doing.
All right.
Those empty threats can continue. Why? When you come back in the future, are you going to line us up and start shooting us?
Nobody has said.
You have jailed NDC former appointees before. You think that we are afraid of you?
Well, just a minute before we leave.
So, but finally on this point, Moro, finally on this point.
Our time is up. Let me just.
You see, I feel sorry for the NPP and those who are associated with it at this critical moment. You see how my brother was struggling to make a case for the NPP in terms of their support for Chairman Wontumi.
Okay.
But within him, he knows
That's what?
that this is a party that does little, especially the NPP and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as we speak today. Because there's a leadership breakdown in the NPP.
Why would you say such a thing?
There's a leadership
Why would you say
breakdown
no?
in the
This
NPP.
one you would have to let me.
And so,
he cannot
even
be
the solidarity that comes within political parties appears lacking in this political party. And it boils down to leadership crisis.
Okay.
Well, just a quick response.
As whether or not Wontumi got their support, for us is irrelevant.
All right.
The most important thing is that the state was victorious. Okay. And like I indicated in my opening remarks, even the NDC is not celebrating this victory.
Okay.
And the government is not celebrating victory because it is painful for government to have its own citizens behind bars.
Hamza, thank you.
But we also, as a form of necessity,
just a quick one. Just a quick one.
I'll come back.
Just a quick one. So you would realize from the court decision that...
Moro.
He's just 30 seconds.
Well, then I also come for 30 seconds.
You see, the decision of the court corroborated what Nanado said, that Akonta Mining was not engaged in illegal mining.
Okay.
And you heard the play you did, Mr. President saying, as for them, when they are in power, anybody who is convicted on illegal mining will be released. You heard, Mr. President. You heard, Mr. President. We are not like them.
You see,
we will go through. We will go through. We will go through. We will go through other.
So if today we use the third parties,
were you also not here? Were you also not here? Were you also not here when President Mahama said that he knows the people doing illegal mining in his government? What has he done to them? What has he done to them? Oh, President Mahama said he knows the people in his government doing illegal mining. What has he done?
All right.
How can you lie like this, Bernard?
So you never heard it? He knows them. He said he knows the people in his government who are doing illegal mining. What has he done to them?
The president has never said
Oh,
that.
he said that. I'll look for the video. Next time when I come, I'll share the video with you.
If there's anybody doing illegal mining, the president is caught. He said he knows.
He mentioned it, that he's aware that people in his government are conniving with others to do illegal mining. Oh, are you not here when... Oh, no. The DC and the chief issue...
He told you that there is the tendency, he will not deny, there is the tendency for
he said he knows.
He knows.
Well, I'll look for the video and send it to you.
I'm not aware.
Hamza even knows.
Let me bring in our viewers. We have some 2 minutes to bring in our viewers. So Samuel Brabo says that, Moro, this is a political persecution on steroids. It should place on record that Chairman Wontumi is in prison today because President Mahama is unhappy with certain comments he made about him, his family, and the vice president. This has nothing to do with Galamsey. Samuel Brabo being said. It's all right, but Samuel, if you have that video, send it to us. We'll play it. We're fair. I haven't seen that video, so if you have it, we'll play it. It's not a problem at all. Peter T. from Shukura. Peter, you've written a whole article. Lots of people have sent us messages. Anyway. So Peter T says that, Moro, having listened to both the former and current president, one spoke as president, then one spoke as a leader in opposition, then targeting the seat of government, the important caution is that this jail sentence passed on Wontumi must serve a routine lesson to all persons, especially politicians, to be extra careful when given opportunity to serve in any position of responsibility when in government. My worry is that most of the government contracts are awarded without taking through parliamentary approval, and these are major contributing factors that see government appointees go wayward in his or her appointment. Mansa Musa, who is the host of Voice of London in radio, it says that this is my contribution for this morning. You may read it, and it says that now with Wuntumi's case, the NDC party government will soon face the burden of deciding the fate of suspected illegal miners within their ranks. The earlier the NDC removes any shield of protection around such individuals, the better for Asumje, that's Mansa Musa. He says this one. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm, he says that, Alhaji, Salaam Alaikum Yade. He says that, good morning, my brother Alhaji Hamza. He says, tell my brother Hamza that he's the incoming National Communications Officer of the NDC. Has he told you he wants to go for Communications Officer? Hamza, so he says that has made justice to the issues this morning. He has indeed demonstrated this morning that he is on top of the issues. We're being told by the national executives of the NPP party that Wontumi is a political prisoner. I totally disagree. In my humble opinion, justice has been served to the good people of this country.
He's a big brother. My regards to
now, yes. Now, Guy G says Galamsey is a canker, and any party that comes to power must deal ruthlessly with it, whether through fair or foul means. To our NDC friends and all government officials, if the demolition exercise doesn't affect your house, you see yourself as a law-abiding citizen, it's just about time. Now,
so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.